Okay, I think I finally figured out the phone situation, so let's see if this works. And seriously, this is like the third time I've tried to record this video. So, here we go with The Bull. The Bull by Jake Campbell and lettering by Moselle Campbell. And this was one of the campaigns that I saw that I thought might be interesting because it was marketed as for all ages and sort of family friendly. And it was a guy who had been, working on the concept of the bull, since age 7. And so I just kind of love things like that. And so I wanted to give this a chance. And, you know, he did this over, I believe he said yeah, there it is, 100 days of comics. And so he essentially, did this in a short period of time. So I applaud him for actually getting it done. And even he himself said it's not perfect, but at least it's done. So here's what I think. I liked the idea of it. Now, for me, everything kind of comes from a storytelling point. And like one of the problems that I had as a storyteller is sort of like this kind of like, back and forth thing. Like every page is sort of like one page dedicated to the son, one page dedicated to the father. And a lot of it came without, what I felt was any real character development. Like, I get that it's a visual media. I get that he wants to do this as a series. So my assumption is that eventually, we're going to go more in depth with the characters. But what we essentially have is kind of like this quick story of these two guys, father and son, and their motto, so to speak, is this sort of like always do your best. And it's because of this bull talisman. But the ironic thing is they don't seem to be doing their best. And, I look at that and, as I've had to record this a lot of times, I'll say that this is probably an interesting quirk that, on the like, what is it, overall, like fourth time, third or fourth time that I'm doing this, you know, you kind of get the irony and you get a little bit of the interest in that. And sort of, that's probably not a very good thing that it takes a bit to sort of like get that irony. And I probably got it the first time, but, you know, like I said, I think and read things in terms of storytelling. And when it comes to storytelling, like for me, it's sort of like it's something that your reader should be able to get. And, if you're going to do something like this where we're just going back and forth, like we're getting a little bit about them, but I would say for the next one, I don't know that I would want to do the back and forth thing again. I don't want to, I don't want to go back over the twist. Um, I know he wants to do more of this series. I don't know if I'm going to buy the next one in the series because although I liked it and it was enjoyable, I wouldn't say that it's necessarily my thing. And this video is probably going to be a lot shorter, because I'm kind of tired of doing this. So it's sort of like everything that I wanted to say in the way that I wanted to say it has kind of like been wiped away by the fact that I've had to redo this thing over and over and over again because the electronics in my life are just, falling apart. But I will say the things that I liked about it, I think is, I kind of like the quirkiness of it. I kind of like, there's one page, I do believe, and that's with Yeah. Like, this is probably the page that I like with the mom, where, you're sort of like, you're going through and you're just like thinking everything is okay. And then all of a sudden you're like looking around and it's like, I think this was done really well. Sort of like the reaction to what in the world is going on and no one's answering their phones and you're trying to get answers. Yeah. I like that aspect of it. And I like the aspect too that it's someone who is giving this a try. So I will definitely give credit where credit is due. And, I would say that if you are someone who has children in your life, you know, it could be an interesting thing that you could read. I mean, because you look at it and the words are nice and big, so it really does give that kind of sense of all ages. The language is, perfectly, simple enough for a child, but, I don't know. So it's not really for me, but I find it an interesting concept. And, it's one of those things that I'm probably not going to buy the next one, but I would probably be interested to see, where he would want to take this later on. And, if he could actually get something, as simple as character development, where we're not just simplifying the characters as these are guys, who just are, living by this simple model and nothing seems to work out. I'm assuming that it's going to be some action or something. Hopefully, like our first issues are what's really going to draw the person in. And it's kind of hard when there's not any real action. And I'll say that there's not any real action or anything. So, take that into consideration if it ever comes back out. But, you know, if you're like me and you're willing to give things at least a chance, this could be something that would be interesting, at least the first one, just for the sake of the fact that, you know, he did get a comic done, and that is not an easy thing. So, the next one I'm going to do, and hopefully have it up by Wednesday, because the plan had been, to get them out 2 weeks ago, technically, but everything happened, and now here we are 2 weeks later, and I'm gonna have to re-record things and edit things and all of that and whatever. So the next one I want to do is Stardust by Nasser. And then, of course, Friday is going to be Iron Sights. And, you know, I can't wait to actually record those and get those out. And, I'll just end this here because I'm trying like, I feel like I'm trying to like extend this because I kind of feel bad because it's sort of like, I'm being nice in that it was an okay read, but I didn't love it enough to actually fully be bothered with it. So take that for what you will. And I will just see you guys on the next video. Bye.